This video clip shows how to install the EasyFit Isolator. The EasyFit can be installed on copper pipe, half hard and hard, and council grades, and plastic, PEX and polybutylene pipe. You will require a drill that can deliver at least 25 Newton meters for plastic and standard copper pipe, and up to 32 Newton meters for the thick council grade copper pipe. Most 18-volt battery drills will be suitable for the standard copper and plastic, but you may require extra leverage from a ratchet drive or wrench if you find partway through you are cutting very hard or thick copper tube. Firstly, let's check the valve components that come out of the box. You will have upper and lower valve components. Check very carefully that the lower housing has the gasket installed in the groove, and the upper housing has the two semicircular seals in place and they haven't fallen out into the box. Now check that you have 4 M5 socket cap bolts, 4 thread forming screws, a white plastic valve cover cap, a handle and M8 half nut. The tools provided for the primer kit are a 14mm long socket and a hex drive adapter that allows it to be driven from your drill, a 4mm hex socket cap driver bit, and a Phillips drive bit PH1. Select a section of pipe that has no dents in it, and if the pipe is painted, you attach to a section with no paint runs which could affect the seal. Slide the lower housing around the back of the pipe so it faces forward. Place the upper housing over the front of it and clamp the two halves together by installing the 4 socket cap bolts. Tighten these diagonally so the two housing straight sides are flush. Go around tightening the bolts again if you need to ensure this is so. Note the gasket may exude from the side of the housing. This is normal. Now you are ready to drive in the cutter plug. To do this, you will need the socket attached to your drill with the adapter. Notice the red reference line. This will be used later. Make sure your drill is in low gear and you have the clutch turned right up to maximum, which is the drill symbol. This is clutch off and gives maximum torque. Now place the long socket over the spindle and locate on the hexagonal socket. Make sure you do not compress or dislodge the polytube. Use the drill at around 60 RPM. Use the reference line on the socket to line up with the top of the collar so you know you are getting close to the bottom. Stop rotation when the socket cannot be easily rotated any further. Now the collar can be unscrewed. If it is very tight to unscrew, it could be because the plug is not all the way in. Recheck that the socket reference lines line up again. If not, screw in further. If you find more torque is required than your battery drill can provide, then you will need to use either a ratchet to drive the socket via the adapter or a wrench to turn it. Now you need to align the 2 red dots of the cutter plug with the dots on the housing flange. It can be useful to clean the housing flange with a tissue to view the red marker dots. We recommend you align the red dots in a clockwise direction so the cutter plug is fully home. If you cannot align clockwise because it is too tight, then align in the anti-clockwise direction. Do not unscrew more than the half turn. Check that the top of the cutter plug and the housing flange are flush and that the 2 red marks are aligned. This is the correct installation position. Please note the circlip on the spindle and polytube underneath it. The polytube is essential to ensure the socket does not depress the spindle during installation, else the seals can be damaged. Remove the split polytube. You can now push in the spindle. Remove the half nut if it is on the spindle. The spindle may displace under pressure. This is normal. Place the white cap over the top of it to push it down while aligning the scallops underneath with the socket cap bolt heads. Now use your 4 thread forming screws to attach the cap. Either use a Phillips screwdriver or the PH1 Phillips bit provided. You are now done. Place your handle on the spindle and hold it down with the M8 half nut. Normal fitting time is under 3 minutes. You can now isolate supply with the EasyFit Isolator.